at this point,
This has happened.
Thank you.
Mayor Tesh, at this point, if I want to know if you're going to provide me an opportunity to defend myself after the council concludes its upcoming discussion. And I know exactly what I'm being accused of. And if not, I would like to make a statement now. Are you going to provide me that opportunity? I also wish to inform you that I reserve my right under the Open Meetings Act and Section 6C of my contract to move to a closed session before vote to terminate me as held. Section 6C of my contract states, and I quote, "The employee shall be entitled to discuss a proposed termination with the City Council in closed session as permitted by the Open Meetings Act prior to a final determination."
That's what I just asked you, Doug.
Mayor Tesh, my intention is I would like to see the public discussion concluded, and I would like to respond to whatever charges are made against me, and then I would like to recess into closed session.
Is there a motion for discussion?
I'll support discussion, council discussion.
Is there anything anybody wants to say? Otherwise,
Yes, I have plenty to say before we vote on that.
we're going into closed session.
No, we're not going
No,
into
we
closed
are
session.
not.
Oh, we're not.
We're not going into closed session.
Just to clarify, the Open Meetings Act says that all meetings are to be held in open session unless you fall into one of the few exceptions. And one of those exceptions would qualify tonight, but that has to be at the choice of the individual who's being.
That is my right.
At this point, he has the right at any time to say in or out, essentially. So he's exercising his right to have this discussion in an open session, and then at a later time, he would go into closed session. We're clear on the Open Meetings Act, that's all I wanted to say.
That is what I am requesting.
So is it my understanding we've had a motion to discuss continuing with our meeting tonight and the city manager's staff performance? Okay, so then we have discussion before we vote that that's what we're going to do. And if I could start the discussion, I'd like to ask Eileen. Eileen, on Friday you met with Artie Bryson regarding Doug Alexander, but not with Doug. Why did you not meet with Doug first?
No comment.
Okay, well, what I did is I personally called Artie Bryson and asked him what you talked about. And Artie Bryson told me that you told him that you were firing Doug and that you wanted to start a different relationship with Clay Township. I'd like to know if you'd explain what you mean by a different type of relationship with Clay Township.
I have no comment.
How in the world are you going to no comment a discussion and expect us to vote on firing a man that you won't comment on? You know, Artie Bryson called me back quicker than you call me back. In fact, you don't call me back when I ask you a question. I'd like the attorney in your free time to start looking into this no comment thing during a meeting to other council people. Do I have to FOIA this? I would like you to respond.
In discussions between individual council members, there's no requirement that somebody respond to the question. I mean, the act of asking the question can be very effective, but there's no requirement that somebody respond. They're not under oath.
Okay. Irene, you went with Eileen. I'll ask you the same questions. Okay. You called the MERS rep without notifying Counselor Doug. Why did you do this without council approval, or at least notifying council that you plan on taking it yourself? That's Doug's job. We're supposed to notify Doug and say, Doug, we have a question about MERS. Can you bring MERS back here? Okay, so you acted without council's approval. Why did you act without council's approval?
No comment.
Now, we're talking about Doug and Doug's job performance, okay? And I'm going to read a quote from the Detroit News Detroit Free Press from 2004, okay? It spoke of your personal bankruptcy, Eileen, of you being sued for 2 clients for $400,000 and you losing 2 cases where women lost custody of their children. You then lost your law license because you violated a court order regarding your pension to pay a creditor when you were running for office for L. Brooks Patterson's seat, and you stated, if voters want someone perfect, there are not many people who qualified. I know Doug's not perfect, but I doggone well know he's qualified. Would you like to comment on that?
No comment.
I've asked you on several occasions, now when Irene was mayor, Doug, Irene, and Cindy would meet every Tuesday before a meeting at breakfast and discuss any issues. You won't do that. In fact, you have not met with the man since the first week of you being mayor in November. More than that, you've met with Artie Bryson more than you've met with Doug Alexander. I find it very appalling and disappointing, and this is nothing except personal vendetta against Doug, who has brought more things to Algonac. I've lived here for 22 years. It took forever to get anything done with that Lions Park. I know Doug's tenacity, nothing with that seawall. He dug through papers forever finding out how he could get $1 million out of the Coast Guard. How does a leader not talk to people? And on top of this, Cindy, our clerk, goes on vacation, gets off the plane in Hawaii. She's also a hired at-will employee who can lose her job if another city manager comes in here. Because we don't know anything going on, and we can't get a call back, Cindy lands in Hawaii with a message that we might fire her boss. And she's worried. So her whole vacation in Hawaii is screwed over because she's worried about losing her job. Artie Bryson knows at 9:30 in the morning that you want to fire Doug, not till 4 o'clock on an email. On top of that, that email tells me, because I said, who is we calling a special meeting? The majority of council. Did you meet with the majority of council to decide that? If that's no comment, I'd like the attorney to see if that's a violation of the Open Meetings Act, that we have 4 people meeting without the other 3.
It is a violation.
I know it is.
Thank you.
It's true that 3 of you can meet at any one time on city business. However, the charter does say that the mayor has the prerogative to call a special meeting on her own, or it takes 2 council people.
That's correct. But the email said the majority of council. It did not say I decided. It said the majority of council. And what I'd like to know is, did you have a meeting?
No comment.
That's a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
I would like to know, we're here to talk about the job performance. What is your problem with the job performance? I mean, we need to find out why we're here. Why are you wanting to fire him? Somebody needs to start talking.
I had a number of things I had that I could say, but I will state one thing, and that is, I've carried a number of things to each meeting. One thing that hasn't been mentioned that I carry is a petition that is signed by our mayor and her husband to fire our city manager and let the attorney go because of one issue between neighbors. On the petition it says neighbors, plural. Bad neighbors is stated that she signed. In actuality, the letter from our attorney said bad neighbor situation, singular, not plural, not including a misstatement by our attorney or an action inappropriate by our attorney. And I've carried that because before the election, she signed it to fire him.
Wow. Wow.
It's right in here.
It was also signed by Cindy Babbitt, who works for Artie Rice.
Any more discussion?
You guys need to start telling us why you want to fire Doug.
Is there any more discussion?
Yeah, any discussion part. That would be the
All right.
discussion part.
We're going to adjourn?
You have to have a vote on, are we going to proceed with this first? And then Doug wants it to be open meeting. So you're going to have to tell everybody why you want to fire Doug.
We want to
So
know.
first, you have to vote.
The first, Mayor Tesh and council members, the first thing I requested was an opportunity to defend myself against some accusations that are made against me, but evidently there are no accusations against me, only the citizens of Algonac that seem to think I'm doing a good job. So I guess there's really no point in my making a presentation defending myself because there's nothing I'm being accused of.
Before we take a vote on the termination of your contract, did you want to have a closed session?
Yes,
How
I
can you
do.
terminate his
When-
contract?
We are
How
not
is it?
taking a vote right now for his termination. We are taking a vote to discuss it. That's the motion that was made.
Wow.
She's the mayor, she don't even know what's going on.
I'd ask for a roll call vote so it can be on a record how each person voted.
To discuss?
Yeah, to end this discussion, to end this discussion, and then to go into somebody making a motion to discuss his termination.
No, I'm sorry, that, as the attorney explained, I'm sorry, Mr. Emmis, that's not exactly correct. Before you take a vote for termination, I have the opportunity to go into closed session, and that is what I have asked to do. If we come out of closed session, then the council can take the vote at that time. But I think it's very important we go into closed session because I have things to share with the four of you that I think you want to hear.
You have to go to end the discussion. And
You want to make a
right.
motion?
Procedurally, before you go into closed session, you need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Right.
You have to state the reason.
We have to vote to close this
So close
discussion.
discussion.
Is there a motion to close the discussion?
That's all part of it. I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Ernie Burton.
Yes.
Ray Martin.
Yes.
Al Meldrum.
Yes.
Joe Nugent.
Yes.
Mark Thompson.
Yes.
Mayor Cash.
Next on the agenda, items for next agenda. I'd like to talk about blight,
Okay, so the next February 21st meeting, okay?
please.
I'm sorry, maybe our attorney can answer it now. If not, I understand it's got to be on the next agenda. ADA updates, from what I understand, if a council member cannot be in a meeting due to illness of some kind, they can be on Skype. And from what I understand, Michigan law says that can happen.
I haven't spent a great deal of time researching that. I spoke on the phone with Helen today, and she mentioned that. I Googled it and saw the same thing. I thought, wow, this is it's never that easy in life. But I don't know, there might be other cases.
Here, George,
I haven't
this
looked
is
yet,
from the state.
but I can't.
Will you please look so we know by next meeting?
That's from the Department of Justice.
Yeah, I saw this online today, same thing you did. You got up there and read it.
My question is, does the ADA supersede the charter?
I understand your question.
Okay, so with that, any other items for the next agenda?
Is Doug still employed?
We're not taking any action at this time. Okay, we're gonna do council comments.
Don't smile.
Okay, council comments. Helen, would you like, is there anything you would like to say?
I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. And I'm happy we're not taking any action tonight.
Mr. Bembas?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I really appreciate your support. I do have some important information to share, though. The First Evangelical Lutheran Church on February 15th is having a free community supper, and shepherd's pie is on the menu. And I meant to say it at the beginning, but I forgot. So, you know, there are a lot of good things in Algonac. We have tons of good people, as I see tonight, with tons of good things going on. Like the community dinner, and I know Saturday is the thrift or the flea market at the VFW, and hopefully we'll see some of you there. Thank you for coming out. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Thompson?
Thanks, everybody, for coming. It's nice to see community support.
Thank you. Mr. Martin?
I also want to thank everybody for their support tonight of the issues at hand, and keep paying attention, people.
You got it.
I would like to thank everyone for coming, for your patience while we deliberated so long, and that you all stayed. It shows that you're really concerned with what's going on in Algonac. Thank you again.
Thank you. I also want to thank everyone for coming out. And sometimes, you know, we always, believe me, all of us, we want to do what's best for the city. And sometimes that's not going to be the most popular decision. But we will keep striving. As long as we're in these seats, we'll keep striving. Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Is that necessary?
Yes.
Okay.
No comment.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.